Are you still in contact with those guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, did you guys want to be a band, or was it kind of an accident? How did that kind of form?
Well, you know what's crazy? Vince, he had a circle of people that he connected with and got me my first record deal as a solo artist at a company called Red Ant Records. Now, this same company, and Vince, you correct me if I make any errors along the way. This same company had another group signed to them called the Fat Pack. That was Mr. Tan and Miss Toy. And then the same company, Red Ant Records, had the Militia, but it was only 2 members, Diz and Devious. So we're all signed to the same company. So
Vinnie,
I'm not sure how the energy moved.
I know he got it.
Okay.
The energy moved around a certain way where they had an idea of getting this dope producer named Emmanuel Dean, who they call E-Man. Rest in peace. May the Most High be pleased with that brother. He passed away. They had him come in the studio and play some of these beats that he have, because he got some slap rocks. So he's playing beats. And they invited me down there and the Fat Pack, which is Mr. Tan and Miss Toy, and then the 2 members of Militia, Diz and Devious. They wanted to see how we would vibe. So when we all get there, E-Man, he's got his tracks playing. He's playing tracks. And so we all meet each other. And then I go in the vocal booth when he's playing some of the tracks. And I get on the microphone. And the way the studio is designed, when you put the headphones on, you can tell if the microphone is live, because if it's live, you can hear yourself in the headphones. Okay. But if it's not live, you can just hear the music that's being played until somebody clicks the button on the board to bring your audio into sound when it comes into view, right? And so it was a brother there, one of Vince's partners, which eventually became my partner too. His name was Jeff Carruthers. He saw me in the vocal booth. I was just rapping on the mic over the beat, even though the mic wasn't live. And then he went in there and he pressed that motherfucking button. And when he pressed it, I knew the mic was live because I could hear myself all of a sudden. So what I did was I just kept going. I act like nothing happened because I was already rapping with the dead microphone.
Yeah.
So when the mic became live, I livened up some more. I turned up on their ass and I was spitting some shit. It was like volcanic, organic shit, right?
Yeah.
And man, let me tell you something. When I came out the booth, they was like, we want him in the group. He got to be with us. He got to be with us. And so I got indoctrinated against my will, brother.
Yeah. But you didn't turn it down, so what the hell, right?
I was so honored. And you know what's funny, because the brother that came up to me and said, yo, you gonna go first on the track. And I'm thinking he was like the leader of the group or some shit. And that was Mr. Tan. And I come to find out he was there just like me. He didn't know what the fuck was going on, but he was so blown away by the lyrics, he just took control of the shit. He was like, you going first.
So I got a question when you guys do these songs off the cuff, Lord G. You're spewing into the mic because you hear a beat. Do you remember it? Like, is it like, do you go, fuck, what did I even say? Like, I don't even know what I was saying 5 minutes ago.
Well, you know what happens is it depends on if you're making it up. Like now, what you speaking of, if I'm making it up off the top of my head,
Like you were in the
Which is
studio that day. Yeah. You were just
Well,
sitting
no,
there
not
listening.
but see, when I was in there, I wasn't actually making that up. I was saying a rhyme that I already knew. They
and
never heard it.
And the right beat hit your okay. So the beat hit the right note for your song. You're like, oh shit, this is perfect. Like, yeah, okay. All right. Now that makes sense. Yeah.
When they hear it, it's gonna shock them no matter what, because they're completely in unknown territory. They don't know what the fuck I'm finna say.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was spitting a verse that was like baby dragons being born. It was straight fire. It was just fire. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So
hey yo, check this out. And see, as a true MC, I always have to have verses like that ready. You can't be making that shit up. You gotta have some premeditated shit that you've designed.
Okay. So let me ask both you guys a question.
Ready. Okay.
Vinny, you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
So, all right. So, Vinny, you've met a lot of artists. Lord G, you both met a lot of artists. Who, like, I'm not asking to call somebody out, but is there somebody that you worked with as an artist that you just go, man, I'll never forget what this guy did for me, or how good the relationship is or was?
You talking to me or Lord G?
Both of you can answer the question.
Of course, for me, yes. Of course, Norman Whitfield was the ultimate producer for me to work with because I was already in awe of him. But
no, I'm talking about like talent, like the talent you found or the talent you.
My God, yeah. Lord G himself, I always put him in the forefront because I was so blew away by my little cousin being his.
But he's family. Let's get over the family stuff. Let's talk about people that.
I'm getting ready to. I'm only being honest with you, brother.
No, I agree. I mean,
if you got to accept the honesty of what I'm saying.
I would say the same thing about if somebody asked me who my favorite person ever was, it would still be my dad. Like,
yeah.
Well, see, but you know what I think the point he's trying to make too is when I came across him, like a lot of people say they can rap and shit like that. But then you come across some shit like, well, wait, goddamn it. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on.
But
I was just joking around.
But G, I got to give him the rest of it because at the same time as I was managing Lord G and blew away with him, I had two other cats that I was managing. One by the name of Xavier, who is now called Fantastic Negrito, who is one of the most talented brothers I've ever met in my life, and he's won 3 Grammys now, back to back to back. And then Teron Brooks, the guy that played Eddie Kendricks in the Temptations, who I managed too. He's one of the purest singers that I ever, and I managed all 3 of these cats. And then I have to say, Eminem was one of the other guys who I had something to do with that I thought was so talented. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you who my favorite of all time is.
But I'm saying people that you like actually not talent wise, like. Who's somebody you go, man, that guy I'll remember for the rest of my life just because he was a good man. He was a good person. He took it on the chin when he got punched and he kept going. You know what I'm saying? That kind of guy. Who's that guy that you worked with?
Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre. Fair enough.
Okay. And then, now I didn't work with him, but Lord G did. And I got a chance to be in some of those sessions with him, and watching this man work was unbelievable. You know what I mean? He was so bad. He was so good, at what he did. So I got to give it to him,
And I've got the clip underneath there for Above the Rim, Dave, if you want to play that. And then, because I got a whole lot of questions.
Okay. Hold on, though. So Dre and Eminem are close now, right? Like, they're Do you... I don't know if you guys, either one of you, ever seen Eminem work in a studio. Does he have the same mentality as Dre? Like, don't fuck this up. Let's go. Let's make some music. Do you guys know?
Eminem is a perfectionist. Eminem is on point. Okay. And he has the same desire as any other artist. Him and Lord G, to me, was so similar in their approach in the studio. Is ridiculous. It's just that they came from 2 different worlds. And I happened to see them both in the studio one time, which we were doing this I was going to say this earlier, but I'm going to say it in this because that gave me the break to say this, is that one of my all-time favorite guys was an unknown person by the name of BGV, who was going to be signed over at Web Entertainment / Aftermath when they first brought Eminem in. Because they couldn't sign Lord G, they were going to take my other rapper called BGV, who is a protege of Lord G. Lord G brought him up at 12 years old, and I just fell in love with this dude. This little guy he's awesome right now. He's just awesome. He's a grown man now, but he's awesome. He's one of those guys that you asked me about, but see, you never heard of him.
Right.
And you hear me talk, and you hear me talk about the people that you don't know, is because those are experiences I've had with the set of people that I managed. So
That's what I'd like to know, dude. There's so many guys out there that you never know that built a career for other people. Like you guys were saying earlier, all they're doing is taking other people's tracks and redoing them or whatever. And half these guys, you don't even know they were like an artist. Like they're just taking a riff.
And Mr. Tan from Militia, the guy, he's another one like that. Oh my God. Mr. Tan did the song Baby Boy with Tyrese and Snoop Dogg. Mr. Tan is one of my favorites, dude. That dude is awesome. You know, did he get the right break that he should have got? I don't think so, but he's still one of my favorites. So they sat in the class, all these guys I'm talking about, and Snoop Dogg, I don't know why I didn't say that, but Snoop Dogg is outside of the crew that you hear me talking about. I watched Snoop Dogg in the studio with G and all that Death Row, and Snoop Dogg is one of the dopest guys I ever know, and he is the most coolest guy you ever want to meet. I really like him. And
he's genuine. He's genuine. He's a genuine guy. He's not
man,
fake.
and he's dope. And he's dope.
Okay.
And check this out. On that same note, on the Death Row umbrella. Now, this is something that I wanted to expand on what you were talking about, Vince, about me and Eminem. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but me and Eminem were on the table of Dr. Dre at the same time. I was on the table of Dr. Dre. I was his primary focus until Eminem came. And then I was still his primary focus. But then it was brought to his attention, which I understand this truly too.
You forgot, G.
The paradigm of the,
You forgot, you missed something. It wasn't Eminem at first. It was Tupac. You was when Tupac came in, and then Eminem came after that. When you was over at Aftermath and you was working with them, and that's when y'all was on that same platform.
Yeah.
So I looked up Lord G. I looked up Lord G, and it said Death Row Records wanted Lord G to be the positive person for Death Row. Is that true? Like I read that today.
Exactly true.
You were the positive guy for Death Row Records. I was like, wow.
I was going to be the only artist, because at that time, no artist over there was doing conscious music. And that's the kind of music that I do. Wearing like ancient symbolisms and symbols that represent peace and connectivity and the flow of productive energy, shit like that.
Yeah.
They didn't have no artist that was that I would have been in my own lane.
It said that on the website. Like that's what Death Row was like. They wanted him for the positive side of Death Row Records. He was that guy for Death Row.
Facts.
Cool. So I'm glad
fact.
I'm glad the internet got it right.
Now check this out though. This is the point I wanted to bring to y'all attention. Now, when Dre was analyzing Eminem's work and mine, it was brought to his attention that the racial dynamics that exist, and this is something that's true whether a person accepts it or not. So to put the money into Eminem being this white rapper, especially at that time, there was no dominant position like that.
90s,
it was a smart move. Very smart, because racially, it was a whole bunch of black dope MCs. But see, this is why I take my hat off to M too.